Well, today I want to encourage you that God is worth it. And we see a picture of this in a parable that Jesus told. And parables are where we see Jesus painting a picture of this infinite God in finite terms for us. And so in Matthew 13, verse 44, one of my favorite parables, he says this: "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and then covered up. Then in his joy, he goes and he sells all that he has and he buys that field." And what he's saying is, he's painting this picture. Okay, so like I go out here and I go along and I use a shovel and I start finding, digging, and I find these hidden treasures, and they're all over this field. And in my excitement of realizing that, I go back to my wife and I say, we're selling everything. We're selling our house, our car, everything, so that we can buy this field. And when we go buy it, we're going to have this treasure. And what I'm saying is, in this parable, Jesus says that he sells all that he has and he buys that field. In the kingdom of heaven, God is worth it. You might say, why is God worth it? Well, the first reason that he is worth it is that there is a sovereign, holy, and loving God. And he will have a people and he will reign in their midst so that he can be known. There is a transcendent, sovereign, self-existing, self-sustaining, all-knowing, all-caring, incomparably beautiful, all-governing, all-holy, all-pure, all-defining, infinitely valuable God who ultimately, his ultimate purpose in all of creation, in all of history, in all of culture, and in my life is to communicate God's glory. It's his greatness and his beauty. And that's for everlasting enjoyment of his redeemed people. God is to be known and treasured and enjoyed by his redeemed people. And that's why he created the universe. God is not your buddy old pal. He's not the man upstairs. As he said to Moses, he said, I am. I absolutely am. And we're reminded of God's great glory, that we have this great God in Isaiah 43:7. Everyone who is called by my name, whom I created for my glory, who I formed and made. John Piper once said, God is most glorified in me when I am most satisfied in him. And so God is. Another reason that he is worth it is that Jesus is the highest expression of the glory of God. Jesus is the apex of God's activity in the world, and he is the highest expression of the glory of God. And in this present moment, in the past, God has used prophets and spoken to us in many ways, but in this present day, he is speaking to us through Jesus, and we find that in the Word and the power of the Holy Spirit. One last thing. My life glorifies God when I love other people enough that they would see and discover God's glory. We are hanging our hat. We are selling the farm on the gospel of Jesus. And it's spoken as I am saying this today to you. That's the irreplaceable part of the calling, so that other people would see the glory of God. Remember what Jesus said. He said this in Matthew chapter 5. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. You are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown and trampled under the people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket. but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good deeds and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. We have a glorious God we look to. Jesus is the apex of his glory. Let's share that with other people. God bless you, and have a great week.